All still good? Stocked up? Got your tea, got your coffee, got your drinks? And I have to remove my transcript here and open the meeting chat in case. Right. Any questions before we start the second session of today? Let me just check my time as well. Officially, the session, because we've overextended our previous session, we now oops, I'm on the wrong page here. We've got roughly half an hour to go to 12:30 to finish today's double period. If anybody has any questions, any individual questions, any specific questions, you are more than welcome to mail me. I'm much better than I am in responding to emails than I was in the first semester for various reasons. But as I said to you previously, I would, if I don't get back to you, if you send me an email like one student at 11:21 last night, I will respond this morning. If you send it to me before 5 o'clock in a particular day, on a particular day, I probably will still answer you that evening, because I usually do a lot of emails early morning before classes start, and then obviously at the end of the day when the day's classes are finished. So if there's anything in particular that you want to bring to my attention, or a question that you might have and you don't want to use this particular forum, then yeah, please email me. It's still yaku@stadio.ac.za, or yakuj, sorry, at stadio.ac.za. We are getting to the sort of a nitty-gritty part of this particular module, and that is to focus on what specifically your function, your responsibilities as a salesperson is. Before I continue, however, I just want to, I've just side noted myself here, those students who joined later than the start of the previous class, just a reminder, I'm not posting an announcement in this regard. I want you to go into Canvas. I want you to follow, I want you to use the platform that is provided for you, or to you, and that is obviously Canvas. Tomorrow, from tonight, 12 o'clock, the whole of tomorrow, class test 1, multiple choice questions, 25 marks, 30 minutes is available for you to do. Okay. Early risers can do it tomorrow morning. Some people can do it tomorrow afternoon, tomorrow evening, whenever. It's available the whole of tomorrow. It's going to take you half an hour. It's probably not going to take you half an hour, but your time is you have a time limit of half an hour. And it's only multiple choice, and it's on question 1, chapters 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. The first 5 chapters covered in the class test that you can conduct online as a quiz the whole of tomorrow. Right, that out of the way, let's see, and you've heard the expression, the more things change, the more they stay the same. Who's heard that expression? Anybody? Never heard that expression? I'm sure you have heard that expression. The more things change, the more they stay the same. Well, basically what it means is the following. Let's look at the screen and the images that we have on our screen. People say, it's a different way of doing things, and the way people communicate with their customers, it's different. You know what? It is different, but it's very much still the same. People just find the information in different forms and on different platforms. The image at the top left of your screen is from 1940. People are commuting to work on the underground, on the train in New York. What are they doing? They're all reading the newspapers. They didn't have cell phones yet. What's everybody doing in 2019, 2020 currently? Also on the way to work. Different platform, just an electronic version of the newspaper. Some of those individuals might be doing work. Some of those individuals might just be reading the news, like the guys at the top left have been doing from the newspaper 60 odd years or 70 odd years ago. It's exactly the same people. Another reason why I've included this is to reiterate that whatever methods you use to communicate with your customers as a salesperson, is that the basics remain the same. The processes remain the same. The resources change. The methods that we use slightly tweaked and modified to talk to the current customer. But the processes very much remain the same. In other words, for you to successfully conclude a sale, you have to identify the customer's need. You have to do an extremely nice presentation or prepare a nice presentation to demonstrate to the customer. You're going to engage in negotiations by dealing with and handling the objections that the customer might present to you. And you are going to close the sale. If you do not do those 5 things, you are not going to have a successful sale. That has not changed, regardless if it's 1940 or if it's 2020. The process remains the same. The basic principles remain the same. What has changed, though, is, for instance, some of the anatomy of a successful sales professional. As you can see on the screen there are a few things that's slightly different. And I think, and this is not, it's not from your textbook, it's an additional image that I've just uploaded. Just to specifically point out aspects of the modern salesperson that, in my opinion, has become very, very crucial elements. One of those are that the modern sales pro is a passionate problem solver. They are that because of the marketing orientations or philosophies of businesses that have changed to embrace a sort of a customer approach, where the customer is the most important. Not that the customer never were important in the past, but the emphasis is pretty much now on, sir, what do you want? Madam, what do you want? What will satisfy you? And I'll see if I can get it for you. So in other words, it requires to establish a relationship with your customer. And to be able to do that, the image right on the top right-hand side of your screen, Emphatic Listener, is extremely, that specific skill is, and I have pointed it out earlier in the course, is an extremely important element of the modern day pro. You have to listen attentively, not just, I mean, you won't be wearing Men in Black Ray-Bans like that person in the image. If you're talking to a customer, you will not wear sunglasses because you need to make eye contact. If the customers see you make eye contact when they are speaking, it means that you actually are listening to them actively. And then obviously taking that information and using that information. We dealt with sales knowledge previously, briefly in the course. You should know your product, you should know your company you're representing, but it's also important that you not just focus on the benefits and advantages and that the customer will get from the product, but to be able to solve a problem. In other words, somebody's been struggling to, for instance, let's say, what problem are you constantly struggling with? And then maybe, what are sort of a daily domestic issue that we all are battling with? Anybody? I want to always just share my examples with you. What are you battling with on a daily basis? What irritates you? Geez, I mean, if this morning it's garbage day, so this morning I have to prepare or clean all the bins inside the house, or and so I can actually put it in the black bin outside because it's collection day. And then obviously you replace the full garbage bag with a new empty one. And one thing that I could never figure out why a business haven't thought about a solution for this. These black bags that you get 10, 20 in a packet that's rolled up, and you tear it off individually. I don't know if I'm just very unlucky, but I'm battling to find the opening on that black plastic bag before I put it in a bin. It's everything, almost to the point where I dread this daily Wednesday activity, because there must be a easier solution. But anyway, that's just something that irritates me, and I think if a company can come up with a solution to that, I'll definitely be buying those bags. So what specific characteristic or skill that a salesperson requires is to find a solution to that problem I have. But how would the salesperson know that if I don't inform the company that, geez, I'm battling with this? Isn't there another way? But that usually only happens at the point of frustration, where the customer's always given up. It's an exaggerated example, I know, and it's still a problem for me. I haven't found a solution yet. I haven't found a bag yet that actually works. And if any of you know of a brand that has a bag that opens easily, I'll gladly start supporting them. But the point I'm trying to bring across is that your responsibility mainly is to identify what problem the customer is battling with. And if you're in a sales situation where you are talking face to face with a potential customer, or even existing customer, by listening effectively, by listening attentively to that customer, you will pick up on issues that bother that customer. That's the kind of information that you have to rush back to your company with and say, guys, I've picked up a trend here. 5 out of 6 people I've spoken today have this type of problem. Then we know either it's something that we can fix ourselves, or maybe it's an opportunity for us to develop a new product that will resolve that problem that customers are experiencing. Obviously, you need to be tech savvy. You have to be a tech enthusiast. It doesn't mean that you need to have the latest Samsung Zip or Fold, whatever. I was just thinking last night, watching this ad on telly again of the new Samsung Fold that has come out. It's all good and well. Not that I have the money or any interest in buying that particular item, but what kind of cover are you going to get for that phone? Must be some form of stretch cover. But anyway, boggles the mind. The modern day sales pro, specific skills, and we will, for the largest part of this chapter, be looking at the different key responsibilities that the modern salesperson has. And if they do that effectively, they will increase their chances of being successful in a sales career. Right. When you're in sales, it's not just about getting the message across to the customer. It's more than that nowadays, and it's more than that because The philosophy has changed to be customer-centered. One, at the top, yes, of course, you are still, your main job is to make the sale, to make the turnovers, to make the profits. That's going to make you successful. That's going to make everybody happy, including yourself. Because salespeople mostly work on a basic salary and commission. So if you work harder and you are more successful, you are going to get paid more. But you are also going to be expected to manage sales knowledge and manage databases. You will also have to manage yourself and especially manage your time. You cannot avoid from handling complaints, dealing with objections, and handling with complaining customers. You will always be focused on establishing a relationship with your customer. You will be required to provide the after-sales service to the customer too. You are also going to be expected to ensure that everything that we've just said happens within the sales and marketing strategy of the business. And you cannot just sell and repeat sell to existing customers. You have to prospect. You have to find new customers. And that's, I think, where we are going to continue to next. And that is to acquire new customers. By the way, the slides for this week, and I will later this afternoon when we finish with today's sessions, I will upload new slides. I've modified some of the slides so they represent both the 10th and the 11th edition of the textbook to ensure that you have everything that you need to prepare for your tests and exams. I will upload that again. Sorry, side note to myself, I will upload that to during the course of this afternoon. Acquiring new prospects. If this is not your game, then you shouldn't be in selling, because you will have to find new prospects. And especially if you look at two different types of industries. You've got your industrial sale or your business sale versus your retail sale. Retail sale is quite simple. If somebody in retail selling furniture, people are going to walk into your store, and they're going to walk into your store because they're reacting to an advertisement that have been placed or a commercial that they heard on the radio, and because they have a specific need for a bed or for a couch or for a sleeper couch or a dining room set or whatever. It's slightly more difficult for industrial sales because there are fewer customers, and the products that the customers buy, because it's a more complex and a more expensive transaction, it's also a higher quality and a more durable product. And they will, the life expectancy and the life of that product is going to be so much longer, and therefore you're not going to necessarily in industrial sales going to survive if you just keep on repeating to sell to your existing customers. You'll have to find new customers. Prospecting is the process of searching for customers that have not bought your product before. That's total new customers. And especially in industrial sales, in business sales, you will have to focus on this. Prospecting is part of sales. It's the most important step, or it's not just the first step, but you cannot sell to people that you don't have. So you will need to go find those prospects in the first place. Once you have found new customers through the prospecting process, you will have to convert that customer to, you'll have to qualify that customer as a potential customer. Not everybody that you are going to prospect are necessarily going to be interested in your product, or if they're interested, might qualify to buy your product. That qualification process of all your prospects, that is lead generation. That is where you identify the prospects that has the potential to buy from your business. Where do we find our prospects? Well, in the weirdest places. I think one of the most important skills that a salesperson can have is to be switched on 24/7. If you're alert, if you pay attention to detail, you'll pick up new prospects, even when you go out just to fill up your car with petrol, even if you go out to the shop just to buy bread and milk. I think I can speak from conviction, because I know my dad was in sales for most of his life. And why I can use him as an example is because he very often went out to the shop, because my mother came home from school, she's a teacher, sent him to the shop and said, listen, we need this, we need that, we need that. I'm not going back to the shop now. Go buy, for instance, go buy some bread and milk and margarine. He would come back 3 hours later without the bread, the milk, and the margarine, but 3 more prospects that he can sell to. Now, it's only because he has the ability, or he had the ability to pay attention to detail, and it's a fine line between that and being nosy. But if some people just have the knack. I spoke this morning. I went to the shop and I spoke to one of the people at the when I was playing at Till. She saw the Stadio mask that I was wearing, and she was, what is Stadio? And I said to her, no, this is what the business does. And she is immediately interested. She wanted the brochure from me because she's been looking for a business similar to this to study, and she's seen me in the shop on many times, and she has now actually the confidence to approach me. And when she found out what I did and where I'm involved and what the company I represent do, immediate, and and I'm not even in sales, and I think that's the kind of approach that you as a potential salesperson should have when you are sourcing new prospects. A nice way, obviously, and the easiest way, and it's often used, especially in insurance, where people ask you for referrals. Thank you very much. I'm very glad that we could welcome you as a new prospect. Do you maybe have 2 or 3 friends that you think might also be interested in the products we offer? So obviously, if an existing customer, and especially those existing customers who are happy, they will easily provide you with information like that. And that is the cheapest form of finding new prospects. It also reduces the risk, because they're not going to refer people to you that they know might not qualify to actually obtain that product or the products that you're offering. So it sort of pre-qualifies the prospect as well. Business directories are very helpful. I know that, for instance, I've been on a trade directory called Compass. They are online, and they are very well. It's a very nice site to visit, especially if you are selling in the sort of industrial environment. In other words, businesses doing business with each other. It's well organized. The name of the company, the address, contact details, how many staff members are working there, the turnover, the size of the business, the products that they produce, even the name of the board members. Those are all detail that's on there. It's all organized by industry and also by location. So if you're looking for a specific company in a specific industry, like engineering, for instance, in Durban, that would be a great directory to consult. Inquiries, people have different, sometimes a customer that's very happy with you will do word of mouth advertising on your behalf, and based on that you will get people who phone you that you don't know, because they have acted on that word of mouth advertising that a friend or a colleague of them have made. It's still important, however, to advertise and to go to exhibitions and to do direct mails. However, your success rate is not always guaranteed, because it's a longer process, and the response time is also longer. So it's better to keep, again, a current customer happy, because if they provide you with that word of mouth advertising, then it makes it so much easier for you to be successful. Go onto websites. I know that many of us, I think the important thing here is to find keywords that you are searching for on these search engines, and very often it goes directs you to the website of a company, and then you often get the choice that's provided to you to inquire and request more information, and that's how you get that information. People don't overestimate newspapers and the press, advertisements and articles that we find in the local press, and then also you still have to sometimes do the legwork. I know there was one point now. I'm going to be finishing with this for today's session. I used to at one point do a lot of marketing. Although I was the CEO of the company, I still went and did some marketing and recruitment, although it wasn't my responsibility. But I just thought, you know what, especially in the rural market where towns are hundreds of kilometers apart, and people do not have the luxury to, if they want more information, to just quickly go back to the shop and ask for it. I'm talking specifically about recruiting students to study at a particular college or university. If I know if I'm in a rural area, there are 6, 7, 8 hours drive away from my campus, I thought it was appropriate for me to actually, as the CEO, to go and do that cold calling and to do the exhibition and to get to speak to the parents and get that information, because those people can't just jump in their car and drive around the corner if they want more information. Yes, and they have access to the internet and stuff like that, but it's not that personal, and especially if you are making decisions about your child's future, a more sort of a personal touch is ideal, obviously. And therefore, I actually got in the car and I did my cold canvassing. And sometimes just you have to just take a list of names, even if it's from the phone directory or from a database, because there's no, I don't think there are phone directories anymore nowadays. But you pick up the phone and make that call. I mean, somebody that you've never heard of before, there's no reference, it's not been referred to you, you don't know that person, there's no history. That's also necessary to do occasionally. Okay. So if nobody has any questions, this is it for today. As I said, I'll upload the recordings during the course of the afternoon. I still have 2 more classes to do, and then we chat again. Let me just quickly see what our diary looks like. We are again in session tomorrow, 12:30. 12:35, yeah, tomorrow afternoon, 12:35 is our next session. Thanks, everybody. If there's no questions, enjoy the rest of the day. Be safe. And if you do have any questions and you don't want to ask me now, and obviously, I've got another class in 5 minutes, please, I usually try and, if I do not have a double period, be online about 10 minutes before the start of a session. So if there are questions, you can ask that. Or you can just do a Teams call to me, or you can just send me a mail. Okay. All good for today, everybody?
Thanks, sir.
Bye, sir.
It's a pleasure. Keep well, stay safe, and we chat again tomorrow.